Opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
If it feels like the world's gone a little crazy lately, you're not wrong. They say parents should have a voice. But what happens when no one's listening? Forget the noise, the narratives, and the nonsense. It's time to have real conversations, stand up, speak out, and shine a light on what's really happening inside our schools, our systems, and our government, and what it really means for your family. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show, where we believe in truth over talking points, facts over feelings, and the courage to say what others won't. Because when it comes to our kids, silence is not an option.
Only in America, dreaming.
Welcome into the Lindsay Beckham Show. Hope everybody is doing well today. Hope everybody had a fabulous Memorial Day. We are joined in studio, the WYAB studio today, by the one and only Kingfish. And I even convinced him to go on camera. So if you've never seen his face, y'all get online right now. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Pull your mic back just a little bit so they can all see your beautiful face, Kingfish. Turn it a little towards your mouth.
Where's the camera? Oh, there?
Yeah.
That's exactly where it's going, right in front.
See, I shouldn't have even said that.
Nope, you should have quit while you're
Shouldn't
behind.
have said that. But today we are here to break down how to get Kingfish in studio because he's one of the people who paid as much attention to this case as I did. And I'm sure you all remember the Carly Gregg case, the 14-year-old teenager out of Rankin County who shot and killed her mother, Ashley Smiley, who was a teacher over in Rankin County schools, and shot her stepfather. He lived. The whole trial was just a chaotic mess, but it made for great entertaining TV. I hate to even say that because this woman did.
You don't want to say entertaining, no.
Yeah. Well, you know, the people out there who are just like me, enthralled by true crime, and
that's why Court TV was airing it.
And Law and Crime. I mean, it was everywhere. National news.
I was on two national shows actually, just when it was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, interest was all over the place. I went to the gym the Friday that the verdict was being handed out. I go to the gym and everybody working at the gym, all these, teen and 20 somethings, they all got on their phones. They're all watching that live feed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody was glued to it because, of course, I had a special interest in the case because the defense attorney, we won't even go into all of that. We could spend hours alone on Bridget Todd, the defense attorney who just did a bang up for sure. But
we're going to spend some time talking about her because
good.
Because if she has a successful chance, any chance of success on this appeal, it's going to be because of how bad her lawyer was. And make no mistake, folks, her lawyer was bad.
Really, really.
This was probably all the times I've been in the courtroom, probably the worst lawyer I've ever seen in a courtroom ever.
I mean,
and I've seen some bad ones. This was the worst.
It was. I don't know.
And this is counting Winfield when he blew off the state Supreme Court and they had to send deputies to go get him. Okay, this is where her lawyering was worse than this.
But that's, of course, she did get. I think they offered her a plea deal of 30 years. They turned that down.
I think it was 40.
Was it 40?
40. Mm-hmm.
They went to trial. She was handed a sentence of life without parole. That got a little confusing as to what that meant to some people. Some people said you couldn't do that anymore in Mississippi. And I'm going to let you explain all that. But we don't normally see these cases be heard, oral arguments be heard at the Supreme Court level. But with this case, that is happening tomorrow. Like you said, maybe because of some of the things that happened during the trial.
We do hear they do get to the state Supreme Court. I mean, but usually they're affirmed. I mean, it's very rare that they're reversed. So you never hear about them for the most part.
But do they get to the point where they're arguing like in front of the
oral
Supreme
arguments?
Court?
Sometimes it's really the counsel can request, correct me if I'm wrong, attorneys, but the counsel, I mean, the counsel can, I was thinking city council, but the counsel can request oral arguments. I don't think they have to give it to them, but we're going to have oral arguments tomorrow at 10:30 in the Court of Appeals. It will be streamed online. Go to courts.ms.gov, courts.ms.gov, and everybody and their mother has filed a camera coverage notice, not me. I'm going to be sitting at home watching it, live blogging it tomorrow, telling you what's going on while you're watching it. So, be a little bit early, 10:30. So break out the mimosas, spike your orange juice with some good old Tito's, because that's the in vodka now, right? Not that you would know. Anyway,
I have no idea about that.
no idea at all. So anyway, that it should be very interesting tomorrow.
What's your premonition? What do you think's going to happen? What's your best guess?
Okay. Well, the defense came, and Carly Gregg's lawyer, she changed lawyers. Her first lawyer,
Praise God.
because her first lawyer is Bridget Todd and Kevin Camp, and frankly, Bridget Todd handled most of it. There was just one problem. This was her third criminal case ever. Third. First one was a drug possession case a few years earlier. Second one was that Beth Ann White. You remember she was the drunk driver. Oh yeah, but she was really kind of co-counsel on that, wasn't doing the heavy lifting. This time she was basically lead. She get in front of the cameras. I mean, she was doing all the arguing in court, and it was
she came in and wanted to adopt Carly.
Literally. I mean, so first, and it just, she went off the rails early on. She and whoever her co-counsel was, because she had several during the case. First of all, the judge said, all right, by this date, I want this. I want you to provide these records. It was medical records for Carly, blah, blah, blah. Well, they didn't do it. She didn't do it. So the judge, a month later, after the deadline, has to get on to them.
Mm-hmm.
Then she told the judge all summer long, oh yeah, we're getting an expert witness, and it was a local guy, Dr. Webb, I think, and he
could never be there on time or
no, she didn't know the law. Like, she would sit there and say, well, we need Carly out on bond so we can get her evaluation by a psychiatrist. And the judge is like, no, we can have the psychiatrist come to the jail, or, we can have her go there under guard, to his office, etc. We don't have to just turn her loose just so she can get an evaluation. She just did not know the law. She later said, oh, we want to get a brain scan, but we didn't know, but which I understand the reasoning for doing that. Okay. Let's see if there's anything wrong upstairs. Okay. Which I would be doing the same thing in her shoes, but
so what's it called? The McNaughton? Because that's
no, we're not even there yet. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, let's not get in that set of weeds just yet.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm bringing the audience up to speed here. So then what happens is,
let you go with it.
So judge says, no, you can't do that. So Webb visits her like 4 times in the jail, 4 times, does his evaluations. And apparently he must not have said what they wanted to hear. And he's fairly known as being a plaintiff's friendly lawyer, if you get my drift. And so they got this guy out of Boston like last second, and then they missed the deadline for that. And Judge Dewey Arthur, had to bend over backwards. Basically, he could have thrown out his report, but didn't. But so the local guy here visits her 4 times, evaluates. They don't use him. I'm not saying he said she wasn't. I don't have any inside information. But if
he had said something to help her, they would have used it.
Exactly.
That's common sense.
Exactly. So they were using Mr. Out-of-State expert for a reason. All right. So they did that. So then we keep on going through this, and it was just more procedural crap. She just clearly did not know what the law was. Back to the brain scans. She said, well, we wanted to do that, but there was no time to do that, and we didn't have the money for it. Well, first of all, you can apply to the court to fund such an exam. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is, and if you knew your criminal law, you would have known that if you'd practiced it before. The second one was that, let me see. Let me think for a second here. All right.
This is all pre-trial.
This is all pre-trial. But anyway, you also didn't ask for a continuance. Judge Arthur said, we're going to trial in September, but not once did she ask for a continuance. Okay. She never wants the things that she's bringing, that her current lawyer is bringing up in his appeal. The prosecution, and it'll be the AG, not Catherine Newman from Rankin, doing it, arguing tomorrow for the state. But Bridget Todd let a lot of things go by without objecting to them. And there's a rule. If you don't object to it at the trial court, you can't just see how it turns out to come back and appeal, say, well, no. You had your chance. You didn't swing at the pitch. You struck out. And that's what's happened here. So then we go to trial, and it was just one thing after another. And Dewey Arthur did a great job, because he knew he didn't want to get reversed. So he was looking out for her, even when her lawyers just weren't optimal.
And my favorite
I know where you're going with this.
No, you don't. I don't think you do. My favorite line of the whole trial was, we're going to take a pregnant pause. And you can just see
Oh,
the
yeah.
anger all over Judge Arthur's face. He's just mad. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, we're going to take a pregnant pause. And I had to look, I've never heard anybody use that term before.
I have.
But it cracked me up. And he was just so frustrated with the whole situation
Well, I
because
mean,
Bridget didn't have her ducks in a row.
Well, one time when they didn't have their medical report or the psychiatrist report, I mean, he was like, he finally just said, y'all are doing trial by ambush and we're not doing that. Okay. We're not doing that. Then my favorite one was the Brady motion. And what that is, folks, is if you're a prosecutor, you have exculpatory evidence, stuff that can possibly clear the defendant, you have to give it to the defense, period.
And she had it.
And
She just didn't realize it.
so if you want to make sure they did that, if you're the defense, you file what's called a Brady motion. And these are serious. I mean, prosecutors have been fired when they were caught not providing that evidence to the defense. Okay, it has happened.
You have to give them what you've got.
And that's, I'm sure that was in the back of Miss Todd's head when she did that. So she files this thing saying, we have all these messages between her and her friends, and they could get her all, they're exculpatory. They could clear her, show her state of mind, all that stuff. But they never gave that to us. And
No,
she
didn't know how to look at Cellbrite phone extractions is what it was.
Well, no, yeah. Well, so what the judge says, I mean, and folks, you're going to laugh when you hear this. He lets the prosecutor, Catherine Newman, go over to her laptop, and she gets into Bridget Todd's laptop, and it shows and I've got it on video, less than a minute. Here it is. Yeah.
This exact text.
And it was
that
like,
you're talking
and
about.
Judge Arthur was not happy. Frankly, he should have sanctioned her for it. He didn't do it. But I have noticed one thing. I don't think she's appeared in this courtroom ever since.
No,
I don't think she has at all. But, and so then we get to sentencing, the jury found her guilty. Sentencing, you're supposed to have what's called a Miller hearing. That's the Supreme Court says you can sentence juveniles to life without parole, but you got to have a specific hearing for that sentencing first. Okay. It's not like before then we could just sentence them, go ahead, life without parole, blah, blah, blah. Nope. Now they threw in some extra steps into that process. So they had that, but Bridget and her people did not put up any family members to address the court, testify for Carly. She didn't make any arguments or anything. And later she admitted in a podcast, I was just too emotional. I mean, I would have gotten mad. If that's the case, you need to get off the case because what's happened is you are too close to your client. And it's quite clear she was way too close here. I mean, she was talking about adopting her, but when you're the lawyer, it is your job to be the cool head in the room. When your client's freaking out, when you got a ticked off judge or witness or whatever, it's your job. You're supposed to be the calm in the middle of the storm, period. That's your job. That's what you're getting paid for. Although I don't know if she got paid here. I don't think she did. But anyway, and you got what you paid for, didn't you? So she's sitting there, not making any arguments. And and that's coming back to bite him now in this because he's trying to argue ineffectiveness of counsel, and the other side's saying, well, yeah, but the other side waived all this at trial. They didn't do anything, so they waived it. I mean, she's
supposed to know that you need a Miller hearing.
Yeah. Well, they did a Miller hearing, but
there just wasn't there was no evidence put on.
Yeah, she didn't put her side up there. She just said later, well, the jury, they'd heard it for 5 or 6 days. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. And the jury, you do this because the jurors' heads are going in circles. They've been going through a snooze fest, here. All this information's bombarded on them. You need to sit there, refocus their minds on this. You need to tie it into a nice package for them. Say, here you go. Nice, short, and sweet. Here's the highlights here. Refocus. That's what you're trying to do here. And if I'm wrong, lawyers, correct me, okay? And she didn't do any of that. Didn't put the family up there. No grandparents begging, hey, this is not what my daughter would want. None of that, which you would normally see in such trial. I mean, Carly didn't submit a letter to the court or anything. I mean, so nothing. I mean, so
she's in it to life.
And it was up to the jury to do this. Now, if the jury had not ruled, they could rule on life without parole. If they didn't rule on that, then Judge Arthur would have done the sentence. And I suspect he probably would have given her between 30 and 40 years. I don't think he would have just locked her up and thrown away the key.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It was a crazy case.
Let's take a break. And when we get back, we can talk about what's happened since that day, since she was sentenced to life without parole, what that means for what's coming up tomorrow at the Supreme Court. Y'all stay with us. Now, Kingfish loves to take your calls. So if y'all want to call in, 601-879-0002. He's got all the answers. He knows.
I don't know about that.
He knows everything. At least that's what he tells me all the time. So y'all be sure to call.
I'm very good at telling people that.
We'll be right back. Y'all stay with us right here at WIB 1039, The Lindsay Beckham Show. With us right here at WIB 1039, The Lindsay Beckham Show.
Only in America.
1039 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hey, Central Mississippi, it's Big Pop inviting you to Mississippi's biggest and best gun show. Big Pop Gun Shows will be at the Clyde Muse Center, June 6th and 7th in Pearl, Mississippi. Saturday hours 9 to 5, Sunday hours 10 to 5. There'll be plenty of buying, selling, trading, gun appraisals. Guns, lots of guns. 250 tables of merchandise to see. The largest vendors around to see. Be sure to register for two $20 gift certificates to be given away every hour. Grab your $1 off coupon now. BigPopGunShows.com. Y'all come. Let's have a great weekend at the Pearl Gun Show, June 6th and 7th.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck beds, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
When pain or injury slows you down, relief is closer than you think. At Hometown Medical, we now carry professional-grade orthopedic gel wraps. Our wraps give you 360 degrees hot or cold compression therapy. We also carry Actimove braces made with CoolMax Air technology. From light slide-on supports to hinge wraparound knee braces, we've got brace options for ankles, knees, backs, shoulders, and wrists. Hometown Medical has you covered with our gel wraps and braces. Discover the relief you deserve.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
Venable Glass is your local glass expert, offering residential, automotive, and commercial glass. Venable Glass can do it all. Windshield repair, replacement of shower doors, mirrors, and everything in between. What sets Venable Glass apart from the rest? Unmatched reliability and customer service. Don't forget, tell your insurance company that you want to use Venable Glass. And remember, you do have a choice. Let Venable Glass work hard to earn your business. Call Venable's Ridgeland or Brandon locations today for a free estimate or visit venableglass.com.
From Mississippi, where faith, family, and freedom still matter. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the WYAB studios. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show. I'm, of course, Lindsay Beckham. We are joined by the one and only Kingfish of Jackson Jambalaya today, where we are breaking down the Carly Gregg case, the teenager out of Rankin County who shot and killed her mother.
14 years old.
14 years old. 15 at sentencing. Had
But
just
14
turned
when she did it.
14 at the time of the crime. We are glad to take your calls today here in the studio, 601-879-0002. You can also contact us on the text line, 601-879-4648, and also the live stream chat as well. So we kind of taken you through the trial and the sentencing. Kingfish, tell us what's happened since then and how that's going to lead up to tomorrow.
She replaced lawyers. Kevin Kemp and Bridget Todd represented Carly Gregg at trial. Well, they're gone. You now have James Murphy. He's an attorney out in Neshoba County, and I've covered some of his cases before. He's a decent, defense attorney. Bill Kirksey, no, but not many people are either. The late Bill Kirksey. But anyway, so he's taken up her case, and he filed his briefs with this. They went to the Court of Appeals, and his briefs read, it's about what you would expect from a competent lawyer. I mean, I think one thing he didn't hit him on was the ineffectiveness of counsel, because my opinion, this was a great case for it. But before I get to that, basically he argued several things. One is during the sentencing hearing, the prosecutors said, "Oh, if you allow her to have parole, give her the chance of parole one day, she could walk into a school or a mall, start shooting people." Well, they're saying that was inflammatory. You can't say that in front of a jury. And I've had some readers say that might actually bring it back. I don't think so, but okay. Also, there was this book by the Russian novelist Dostoevsky. It's about a teenage girl who took an axe, started killing people, all that stuff. And they're saying that was used to inflame the jury, and that was those types of arguments. And also they brought up, say, other objections, but the prosecution has come back and said, yeah, this all happened, but the way you said it, but you did not object to this at trial, so therefore it doesn't really matter. And like when Newman said that, I think it was Newman who said that statement about shooting them in a mall or whatever. They didn't shoot. No, the defense did not object to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so they're saying we're back to, you had your chance, you didn't take it, you can't come back and do it now.
Why is it that you can't say that though? Because if you can shoot your own mom in the face.
Well, you're not supposed to just sit there and inflame the jury either. I mean, you can show them that video all day long of her shooting her mom. Mm-hmm. Now you're discussing, okay, what you can do when you get out. Well, you're supposed to be judging on likelihood of her doing something again, danger to society, but she could get out there and go. I mean, it's just generally that kind of stuff. In a lot of circles is just frowned upon. And there's some courts that probably would not allow it. Probably, but I think the state Supreme Court here is going to allow it. I mean, the Court of Appeals. I really do. But so that's basically what's going on here. And so, like I said, oral arguments tomorrow, 10:30. Each side gets 30 minutes each. And so the Attorney General's office is representing the prosecution, and I'm a little bit nervous about that because they've had a way of getting their butts kicked lately on high-profile criminal cases. I've noticed, especially in Rankin County. You know what I'm talking about, right? The tax assessor Sullivan.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. We're not going to get that bed of weeds. So anyway, that's basically what's going on with tomorrow. Is they're arguing, hey, look, you were inflaming the jury, you were saying all this kind of stuff. I'm surprised he didn't go for the ineffectiveness of counsel argument stronger, because I think that's his best argument.
Yeah,
and Lord, I'm not a lawyer, folks. Okay, this is just a layman's. I've been following this case from day one. I broke a lot of the stories in it, and I've sat in every hearing, watched every hearing, sat in the courtroom pretty much all the time. And I would have hit harder on the ineffectiveness of counsel. Like, she didn't get a continuance. She didn't get the medical stuff she wanted. And there's examples where later she did interviews afterwards, after the trial. And she was she would make statements that made it quite clear she didn't know the law. I mean, she would say things like, oh, well, she's convicted. They're going to be putting a 15-year-old child in general population. No, they're not. Because if you knew state law, it's there in the code. They have to be housed at Rankin County in a separate juvenile facility. There's no access with adults. They go through a GED program, all that stuff. I mean, so they're in their own place over there. They are protected from the adults. And they bitched about,
the solitary.
Yeah, thank you. They bitched about the solitary stuff. Well, the reason why she was in solitary was you can't keep someone like that around the juveniles at the youth detention center, because why? Because generally they're there for drugs, for fighting, for stealing, things like that, family problems. And you don't want someone like a killer or alleged killer around kids like that. You just don't want that.
Now, here's one of my favorites.
So you have to keep them at the adult jail. The problem is, now, if this is Hines County, she'd have some friends there of her own age, but because it's Hines County, where we have juveniles killing people all the time. Rankin County, we don't have that. So she was pretty much there solitary. And so they would get out there and say, she's been kept in solitary, no contact. No. Well, sheriff gave her a tablet.
I was about to say she could.
And I've got the logs for it. And she was communicating with her friends and family all the time. She was selling that tablet for hours upon hours every day. I mean, so was she in solitary? Yeah, but it's not like she was in the hole. She just had no other peers that could be housed with her. But
she also didn't get a jury of her peers. That was the most ridiculous
Oh yeah,
statement.
thank you for reminding me of that. They were arguing at trial. Oh yeah, she should have a jury of her peers. You're not getting you're certified as an adult. You're not getting a jury of 15-year-olds in there, 16-year-olds. It's not happening. Okay, it's just not happening.
Is that what they expected to happen? Was to bring in a bunch of high school teenagers to?
That's what Bridget argued. Yeah,
that's absolutely asinine.
Yeah. Very.
But how did she get through law school is what I'd love to know.
I don't know. And since the case, she's had some rather interesting things happen up in Madison. I mean, she's getting sued right now because
right and left.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because there was one case where she's getting sued right now where she handled a divorce and it was for a lawyer at Baker Donaldson. And so they go all the way through trial and she won against her ex-husband. Okay. Got a great verdict from the court. Okay. Apparently they had switched from, I'm about to get really technical here, guys, so forgive me. They switched from a fault divorce to a no fault divorce. When you do that, there's a form that all the parties have to sign, acknowledging we're switching tracks here. Okay. Well, she never bothered to get the other side to sign it. And so after trial's over, here comes the motion for reconsideration. And they say, we never had this form presented to us. We never got to sign it. Got the entire award thrown out. They had to go back to court again. And now, wife's out of money or running low on money. She can't afford another trial and all that stuff. So she has to settle for. So she's now suing them for malpractice. Actually, Mayor Gluckstadt, Bubba Morrison's representing her and basically saying, you did not do your job. I mean, this is yet another case of Bridget not doing her job. And there's another one. This was my favorite. It's another divorce case in Madison where, you've gotten divorced, right?
No.
Or have you never have? Okay. Didn't know if you had. All right. Okay.
Nope.
So, but generally when you get divorced, I mean, you have to provide your financial records. Both sides have to give them to the other. Here's the bank statements. Here's how much we're making, all that stuff. Okay. So what happens here is the wife didn't turn over all of her financial records. Court told her to, a few weeks go by and they still haven't gotten them. So finally the husband files something saying, hey, we haven't gotten them yet. Judge says, all right, here's an order. You provide these records. And if you don't provide them, you're getting fined $250 a day, period. Well, guess what happens?
Bridget does nothing with it.
Does nothing with it. So 3 months later, she finally gets rid of her lawyer. Bridget hires a new lawyer. And first thing you're going to do as a lawyer with a new client, you're going to review their case. She reviews the case, sees all this in there.
Filings.
And she's like, oh my gosh, do you realize you were supposed to? She goes, no one ever told me. And by now the fines are up to $30,000. Right around 30 or so. Seriously. And of course this woman's going, what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, so, and she provided the records like immediately and they went to the court. And I think eventually Bridget herself wound up paying that fee because.
Did she really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked she even did that.
Court probably could have made her do it. And then there was the whole, I'm going to stay with Carly Gregg all the way. If we have to go to the Supreme Court, then she immediately moves off to Utah.
And just left clients that she had just retained her just hanging in the balance. And the break, I'm going to have to tell you about a phone call I got. You'd be shocked at the messages that I have received.
No, me? No, I wouldn't.
You've probably received
all the stuff I have to deal with, please.
Yeah. But I mean, she's a real piece of work. I'm really shocked she hasn't been disbarred.
We don't, I mean, that's the thing. We don't know if there's any bar complaints filed. I'm sure there have been. It's just
gotta be
but we never know about it until the state Supreme Court eventually rules on it and issues it. And then that's when we find out. So it could be like a year or two from now, if anything happens.
So Kingfish, is that routine when you are have an appeal or have oral arguments heard at the Supreme Court level that the AG's office steps in?
Yeah, that's standard. Most appeals, they'll represent the prosecution.
So does the AG's office have to decide to take that on, or the Supreme Court decides to hear it, so therefore the AG has to put somebody on it?
No, I mean, AG pretty much has it's just some, automatic process. They automatically, if there's an appeal, they handle the prosecution side. Sometimes they'll bring in the state, the district attorneys, people who work the case. They'll bring them in on it, let them get up there too. But usually it's the AG's people who do it.
Gotcha. Well, we got to take a break, but y'all stay with us. We're going to continue to talk about what might happen tomorrow, what we could see. This is the first time I have followed a case this closely that's gone to a level such as the Mississippi Supreme Court being heard like this. But I'm going to get Kingfish's opinion on what we might see happen tomorrow. So y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here, 103.9 WYAB, the Lindsay Beckham Show, live with Kingfish from Jackson Jambalaya. We will be right back. Beckham Show, live with Kingfish from Jackson Jambalaya. We will be right back.
103.9 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit AmericansForProsperity.org. Be a part of positive change at AmericansForProsperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Where tens of thousands are evacuated in Orange County, California, the threat of a major explosion has been lowered at the damaged toxic chemical tank at a military aircraft factory. Fire Captain Wei Hao Huang.
Continue to work on mitigating what's going on with Tank 1.
Crews are responding to a chemical explosion at a pulp and paper mill in Longview, Washington. Fire officials say there are injuries, some of them serious. Early voting underway in the South Carolina primaries. State lawmakers debate whether to redraw the congressional map. Democratic Congressman James Clyburn blasting the Republican effort at a news conference today. What to be done?
The first one is to challenge the process. Or you're going to throw our votes out.
The Supreme Court today refused to intervene in a discrimination lawsuit by former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores, who's black, against the NFL. This is ABC News.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services, helping you stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Ken here with Rapid Oil Change, your fast service and fleet maintenance headquarters for over 40 years. With parts in stock to fit most makes and models, we can perform routine maintenance in a matter of minutes, keeping downtime to a minimum. With brands like Castrol, Mobil 1, Lucas, and Rain-X, it's easy to see why Rapid Oil Change has been the go-to for fast service with a smile for over 40 years. Don't forget our 24/7 touchless car wash. We accept most national and local fleets. We're Mississippi's leader for fast service with a smile. Visit one of our 6 locations today, oilchangems.com.
Looking for farm fresh produce, high quality local beef, dairy, and desserts? Look no further than the Farm Store in Flora. We've got the sweetest, juiciest fruit and vibrant vegetables from Two Dog Farms, plus premium beef, all from right here in the community. Whether you're cooking up a feast or just grabbing a healthy snack, the Farm Store has got you covered. Freshness you can taste, prices you'll love. Find us on Facebook at The Farm Store by Two Dog Farm.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, and I want to tell you, I've lived in Flora for over 50 years. I'm a graduate of Tri-County Academy, went there the first day the doors opened. If you're thinking about putting your children into Tri-County Academy and need a place to live, then give me a call. Without a doubt, the Flora expert when it comes to real estate. So if you need a place to live, give me a call. Rita Jensen, Remax Connection. 601-720-4037 or go to my website, ritajensen.net.
From Mississippi, where faith, family, and freedom still matter. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the WYAB studios. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are joined live with Kingfish from Jackson Jambalot. Kingfish, I got a message on the text line. It says, I've never seen him before. That wasn't at all what I was expecting, in a good way.
Oh, boy.
She said, for some reason, I pictured like a 300-pound man.
225 now.
So Kingfish,
A couple of years ago, it was 255, but I've lost about 30 pounds. Needed to.
So see, you need to start putting your face out there more, Kingfish. If y'all have any questions or you'd like to call in and comment on the Carly Gregg case, or if you would just like to tell Kingfish how great he looks, he loves to hear that too. 601-879-0002. I'm embarrassing him now. He's turning red over there.
No, you're not.
But so we've talked about kind of what's happened.
We've beaten this one up pretty good.
Yeah, we have. So what might happen tomorrow? That's what I wanted to get to. What could happen?
It'll be probably about 6 to 9 months before we get an opinion on it. I could see them coming back and doing resentencing.
You think so?
Order resentencing. Say, hey, look, we're going to have it. I don't think they're going to overturn the verdict. Don't even think it'll be close. But I can see a reasonable chance of, okay, we're going to go back to sentencing and do it all over again. And this time we're going to hold a real hearing. We're going to hold, and give the defense, like I said. If it was me, I would have hit that ineffectiveness of counsel argument a lot harder. So you're right. We did waive all this stuff. It's because we had a lawyer who didn't know what the hell she was doing, basically. You can't say that like that in court, but that's what you mean, and they know what you mean. So, by the way, funny thing that happened today in Madison County. Remember a few years ago when sheriff was doing roadblocks like up near Canton, all those apartments up there and stuff, and then the ACLU sues him, and he had to stop doing them. He can do roadblocks now, but they got to record them. Got to have so many in Ridgeland, so many in Madison, I mean, and you had these apartments where you're having shootings, open air drug deals. I mean, all this stuff. So this one guy, they announced we sentenced this guy today for drug dealing. He was a repeat offender, so he got 64 years in prison. He's basically going to be in jail for pretty much the rest of his life. All right. This clown, this druggie, was actually the main plaintiff in that lawsuit. Now, here's how funny it was. Before he filed that lawsuit, he had filed another lawsuit. But wait, it was against the apartment complex for being too dangerous, because what had happened to him was he was dealing drugs there at the apartment at Canton Estates. Okay, he was dealing drugs there. He got shot during one of those drug deals. Drug deal went bad. Okay, so he goes and hires Ed Blackman, and they sued the apartment complex for being too damn dangerous. I've got that lawsuit on my website. Oh, it gets better. So then about a year later, ACLU is they're trolling for clients. They get him, so he's their lead, and he's their lead plaintiff here. Drug dealer suing the apartment complex for being too dangerous. Had been arrested for beating his wife or girlfriend before. I mean, lovely character here, right? Lovely
Sounds
character.
like it.
Yeah. And he's their main plaintiff. And now they're arguing, y'all are targeting apartment complexes. Yeah, the one that you were complaining about. I mean, being too dangerous.
Let me turn into Clay Edwards here. The culture rot. You champion.
Yeah, that's kind of right here, actually.
Yeah.
And here comes the ACLU. Of course, the ACLU, these clowns, they don't think Ted Hennepin should be running the Jackson water system either. They want the same knuckleheads to run it. But they're sitting there making this clown their lead plaintiff, saying, hey, it turns out, well, your star, your boy, he is in prison for a long, long time. Good job, guys.
And maybe the apartment complex was more dangerous than it should
It
be.
was. I got
he lived
videos
there.
from there. It was dangerous.
Because he lived there.
And
he was making it more dangerous.
Exactly.
Carrying out drug deals.
And that's what Randy Tucker was doing. They were targeting where the criminal activity was. But there is court cases on this saying you cannot do that. Jackson was doing roadblocks, and then you know what? They had to do a settlement. I think it was with the ACLU where they had to they can do roadblocks, but they have to be done a certain way. They have to be done, it's got to be proportionate between different parts of town. I mean, so yeah, I mean, roadblocks, everybody says, let's do some roadblocks, but you've got the ACLU always watching you when you start doing that. And that happened here. It's just funny to watch what happened today. It's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny.
I mean, you fall and you foe. I mean, you're going to find out, especially in Madison County. I can see people thinking they can get away with that mess in Hines, but if you come into Rankin or Madison, you got to be a lot more careful.
One time I wrote about 10 years ago, it was on this guy. I think his name was Jarvis Durr out of Hines County, out of Jackson. And he was a typical Jackson thug, multiple arrests there. And he went over there like Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve and carjacks a woman over there in Dogwood, and Flowood caught him, and he was a black police officer. He says, you missed the wrong town to mess around in, boy. I mean, you picked the wrong town, boy.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
One story I had up yesterday, actually I broke yesterday, was I kind of hate saying this, but Barbie Bassett struck out. She struck out. She she got fired from LBT. Y'all remember Clay and them, they all discussed that ad nauseum about why she was fired.
How do they say
for
it?
ship on my nipple, I mean, we'll just say it that way. Okay. How's that? And
whatever they said, I don't know.
Yeah. And basically it's it's their slang for the N word. And then
Grand
for that,
Mammy.
she had said grandmammy on the air. And, I mean, maybe you should have watched that All in the Family episode where, where Lionel and Jenny Jefferson, you ever see the Jeffersons?
Yeah.
Okay, where they got engaged and Archie Bunker shows up and he refers to George's mother as Mammy, and then they just go off on him. You don't dare call a woman. Blah, 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 blah,
You're gonna beat Archie Bunker.
No, I'm not quite that bad. He's only in his 40s in that. I think he's in his 40s in that show.
Oh my God, Kingfish. Did you know that Blanche Devereaux was 41 years old and 5'6"? I'm 41 years old and 5'6".
Okay, who was that?
The Golden Girl. She was the.
Okay, she
the
played
wild one.
Okay, she used to play Maude. Okay, she had her own show before that called Maude.
I remember. But she was 41 years old at the time of the Golden Girls filming and 5'6". I'm 41 years old and 5'6".
Yeah.
I'm like, I do not look like that. That's traumatizing.
I wouldn't have called her an acronym that starts with a G. I'll just put it that way.
Wait, what?
I would not have called her a certain acronym that starts with a G. I'll tell you when we're off the air.
Okay, you're gonna have to. You lost me there. You lost me. Okay, we got a comment. Jackson Water is crushing the residents of Jackson with exceptionally high water bills. Now that's been an ongoing theme I've heard from multiple people.
They're trying to get the billing straightened out. Yeah, I know. I see the complaints too. I get some of these complaints. And it's been a problem for them. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. On one hand, I've seen the financials. They had to do the rate increase. Okay. They had to do it, period. Okay. I mean, and compared to around in the metro area, it's not like we're way out of sight compared to the other towns either. Okay. But they still had to do it. But you're right. There's a problem with the billing over there. I mean, I've heard the complaints, and it's not just from one segment here. I can't say it's just this crowd making it. I've heard it from others, like in Northeast Jackson, for example. I mean,
yeah, I've heard it from multiple.
I've heard it multiple. People. I mean, it was a messed up billing system when they got it. They basically had to start from scratch, and it's
they're not trying to get money for the back bills that were never paid.
They are, and they've also been trying to collect on these apartment complexes that are, like six figures, like 100,000, 500,000, in water bills. And then they all run to court, say, and they do what most deadbeats do, which is, well, we need our bill verified, that trick, we need everything checked out first we're not sure we owe that much, so then here comes Judge Wingate saying you can't collect on them. So you probably got several $1 million worth of uncollected water bills from apartment complexes, because you haven't been able to collect on them. Now, we just changed the law in this state. The legislature did, thank goodness. We copied Louisiana. Now, if you're a landlord and you pocket that money that's spelled out in the lease that you're paying for your water, and you're pocketing the money that's meant for water, and not forwarding it onto the utility, you can now get prosecuted for
Shonda
it.
White passed that bill this past legislative session.
Yates,
Sorry.
Yates, dear Yates.
Why do I always say White? I always do that every single time I say her name.
She's a honky.
Exactly right. Yes, she passed that legislation saying, like, if you're going to collect from the tenants it's got to go towards what you're
Yeah.
collecting it for. You can't pocket that money.
Well, they had one. It was the Tracewood Apartments. They admitted in court, said, yeah, we took the money, but we spent it on other stuff. And you're like,
See, that should have been, that's not even something we should pass law for.
well, theoretically, you could use embezzlement, but law enforcement and prosecutors told them it would help if we had something a little bit stronger. So in
I'm glad she
Louisiana
did it,
did
yeah.
the same thing a year earlier. And let me tell you, over in Louisiana, it passed unanimously. I mean, that was because the Republicans don't like deadbeats, okay? The Black Caucus, they understand it's their people who are getting victimized here all too often. So they're going to be for it too. And landlords to them are always evil, okay?
Right, yeah, because they're always asking for your money.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, so is what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't agreed with her on a lot of things, but I really appreciate what she has done in situations like that. We're making.
But back to Barbie though,
Yeah, go ahead.
she got fired and then she sued them in federal court here, and she had very good lawyers, Jim and Rachel Wade out of Tupelo, and they're very good.
Mhm.
And I mean, I would if I have to refer someone, they're one of the people I would refer people to, and they lost in federal court. She claimed, what she argued was, hey, if a black person had said these words, nothing would have happened to them. And judge said, well, no, actually, the managers, I mean, they said they agreed there's a double standard, but if it was said on the air by a black, they would still get onto them for it. Okay. They'd still get in trouble. I mean, so.
The grandmammy?
Huh? Yeah. I mean, so anyway, although I don't think and what drives a lot of this is viewer outrage. I mean, people are calling in, raising hell about it, and they got a lot of complaints. Make no mistake, black and white. And it didn't help that Mr. Other Kane and some others were loudmouths. They saw blood here, and they just moved in for the kill and took advantage of it. But she gave them the opportunity. I mean, you don't say mammy to a black person on there. And I like Barbie Bassett. I think she should be hired by a station again. I think it's time for her to get her life back, her career back.
Maybe she should come in and sit in with me some.
Oh Lord, that'd be scary. Be like a damn WWE or something.
But
seriously,
Barbie's my friend. What are you talking about?
Seriously though, I think it's time for her, to like Joe Rogan and Bill Maher say, to get your life back. How do you get your career back here? And she's been in purgatory. She's done her penance now. And some places are allowing her they're cutting ads with her, I think.
There's a lot of people.
Lot Furniture, I think, is one of the furniture places is.
I think there's several.
And then
big
a couple of others have. So, I'd like to see her back on the air because, frankly, I think it's time for her to get her career back. But she appealed, so she lost appeals to Fifth Circuit. Fifth Circuit rules Friday. Sorry, and it was unanimous. Now it's only a 3-judge panel that ruled for her. She could appeal to the whole Fifth Circuit, where you have like all 10, 20 judges or whatever it is sit. But
none of this happens quickly. It's like drawn out.
No, it doesn't happen quickly, and I don't know if it would be worth it at this point, because I don't know if the lawyers are going to want to spend more time and money knowing they're probably going to lose. But this Fifth Circuit said court here was right. So unfortunately, some people are going to say fortunately, she struck out.
Yeah. Well, we got to take our last break. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here to wrap things up here on the Lindsey Beckham Show with Kingfish of Jackson Jambalaya. We'll be right back. Of Jackson Jambalaya. We'll be right back.
1039 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Looking to make technology work for your business instead of the other way around? Visit brentech.ms today. From reliable network infrastructure and wireless internet to cloud or on-premise backups, Brentech has solutions that keep your business connected, secure, and running smoothly. Don't let tech headaches slow you down. Discover how Brentech can simplify and elevate your business at brentech.ms. That's brentech.ms. Brentech, technology made easy.
Tired of the brutal Mississippi sun beating down on your ride or home? Lakeland Glass and Tint in Flowood has you covered. They specialize in professional window tint for cars, homes, and businesses using premium Expel film plus top-tier paint protection film, ceramic coatings, and full vehicle wraps. Change your truck's color or turn it into a rolling billboard without an expensive paint job. Get a free quote today at LakelandGlassandTint.com. That's LakelandGlassandTint.com. Lakeland Glass and Tint, Central Mississippi's tint and wrap pros.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. The last few minutes here on this Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to be thinking, or I've been thinking, it's Monday all day.
It feels like it.
Holidays throw me for a loop.
You're already loopy, okay?
Yeah,
I mean, that's nothing new. You're already loopy.
I know. That's my charm, right?
Something.
But
something
like that. Yeah. So you were called out here in the comments. They said you're wrong.
I was wrong.
Rue McClanahan was bland.
I'm sorry. When they get a full head of gray hair and they're white, they all look alike to me. Okay. I mean, you know.
The author was mauled, and somebody said that Barbie.
I mean, all you honkies look alike to me, and you got no rhythm either. You know.
Excuse me. You're as whiter than I am. Then we got a comment that said Barbie Bassett has her own podcast, or she did. Yeah, she did. She was doing a podcast over in Daniel's studio.
It has a pretty good following.
Her with Therese.
It has a pretty good following.
Tracy.
But I'm just saying, I'd like to see her back on the air because I think it's time for her. Okay, get your career back. Okay.
Dan White says at some point people have to stop bowing down to not offend black folks. I hear black folks say some raunchy stuff pretty often too. Yeah, I mean, racism goes both ways.
It does.
That's
but
for sure.
When you get on the air on a TV broadcast like that, I mean, that everybody's watching, you know.
I never would have thought there was an issue.
I understand. And sometimes, you know, I mean, before I do a post, sometimes I'll call up, sometimes I've called up Howard Ballou, for example, because we're friends, and others who are black. And I'll say, okay, how's this going to come across if I do that this way? I'll say, and I've several times they've said, no, I wouldn't do it that way, you know, and I've gone back and changed it and it came out fine. Okay. And then you ask enough of those questions, you start getting an idea of the thinking here, and, you know, and they just have certain sensitivities about some things, and some of it is deserved, you know, earned.
Some of it
you
is.
know, some of it is. I mean, so, you know,
but there's a lot of it that.
And this one, I mean, you know, and the problem is when you get into humor, sometimes you got to be careful getting to humor, because if you're not good at it, that's when people who usually get in trouble for humor
5 seconds
is they're just not good at it. And then they go too far and boom, you know.
All right. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you then.